Coverage brought to you by Rewrite Sport, where results are guaranteed.
This afternoon we're at Duffus Park, home of Howe of Fife, for the Scottish Hydroelectric National League Division 1 clash between Howe and Dumfries. Both sides promoted from National 2 last season and now sitting joint top of National 1. Well, this is going to decide a lot this afternoon. Something's going to have to give, and well, within a couple of minutes of the game starting, it was Howe who put the pressure on, and there was winger Gerben Emery slipping away from what has to be said a couple of weak tackles and sprinting away, diving over in the corner to give Howe the lead after only a minute and a half. The kick didn't go over, but that certainly put a marker down for the home side, who, when the two met here last year, had had a runaway victory, but had found it very, very difficult down at Park Farm. Dumfries will be all out to make it difficult for them this afternoon, and early on started to show a wee bit of flair in the backs, but it was hard, solid tackling from Howe. Got themselves the turnover, and number 8, Chris Mason, thumping up over the halfway line there, making the ball available. Stuart Lethanji, wee dummy there, and out to Ross Aiken, taken up by number 8, Chris Mason. And finally, oh dear, that was a beauty of a dummy, and another win from Ian Aiken, the fullback, going in from 40 metres out. Oh boy, that was one you'll enjoy watching again, I can tell you. No wonder he's got a big grin on his face. And he was the man, stepped up, he'd made it easy for himself, scored beside the post, slotted over the conversion. 12-0 to Howe, only 6 minutes gone. Dumfries were going to have to come back into it pretty quickly if they were going to make something of this, and again their forwards working hard there. Off that take by Jamie Little, Alan Birdsall to Tom Hiddleston, Murray Richardson making the wee dent, but the pass going forward, snapped up there by Emery again. Lovely hands, and Willie Wardlaw sculpting around the outside, throwing off a couple of tackles. Ian Aiken in support, and was it going to be another try for the fullback? No, this time. What a great support try by flanker Michael Fado in under the posts. 9 minutes gone, 3 tries on the board, and Ian Aiken saying thanks very much. Another straightforward one for me. Yep, no problem. 19 points to 0, 9 minutes gone. And Dumfries must have been wondering what had hit them. And there was no letting up for the home side. Wee chip forward there by Stuart Lethanji. And again, it was Gerben Emery asking serious questions of the home defence. Good tackle by Sam Hiddleston. And relief there for Dumfries as the pressure was piling on just a couple of metres from the line. Tom Hiddleston, long clearing penalty downfield, but not quite finding touch. Left there by Ian Aiken, picked up by Ross Aiken, and well, this is just absolutely beautiful stuff to watch. And Captain Ewan Jack getting the ball out to wing Rory Drummond. Drummond back inside to Jack, and Jack storming over for an absolute gem of a try. And that's the bonus point in the bag after only 12 minutes. Dumfries knew they had to do something to get back into the game, and Tom Hiddleston, big kick downfield. Ian Aiken, wee bit of indecision there, and Hiddleston chasing up his own kick, putting the pressure on. Kenny Henderson there, forcing the Howe defence into a bit of a guddle, and Jamie Henderson on the spot to grab the try and get Dumfries on the board with less than 20 minutes gone. Well, into the second quarter, and Alan Birdsall whipping the ball out to Tom Hiddleston. Hiddleston spotting that they're getting a penalty, taking it quickly, seeing the gap and stretching in for Dumfries' second try. Was this going to be the start of a comeback? Well, he certainly made the most of it, sticking over the conversion. but there was no more scoring up to the break. Howe going in at 24 points to 12 ahead at half-time.
Coverage brought to you by Rewrite Sport, where results are guaranteed.
Into the second half, and Dumfries with those two scores had brought themselves into touching distance, but it was all Howe again at the beginning of the second half. Ross Aiken taking the tackle there, setting it up. Ralph Henderson thundering on, and then the ball worked out to the backs. And again, very, very slick hands. And was it going to be another try for Gervin Emery? Well, threw off another couple of tackles, but stopped just short of the line by Sam Hiddleston. Howe arriving in numbers. Lathanji out to Wardlow. Wardlow to Aiken. Aiken out to big Terry Turpey. And they're queuing up here. Josh Fox-Clark and Rory Drummond. Nearly enough time to tie his laces before dropping over the line for try number 5 for the Howe. But it was another 15 minutes before they got on the board again. Dumfries certainly putting up some stiff resistance, but Howe knowing that there was very little chance that they were going to lose that lead. And the forwards taking a wee bit on themselves, making the hard yards, coming round the fringes, committing the Dumfries defence, and then the ball whipped out again, and this time again out to Emery. Wow, stretching the Dumfries defence, stretching his legs, and again almost over the line, but the man in support again, Ian Aiken. Lovely bit of support there by the fullback, and in for his second try. Dumfries by this time really knowing that there was nothing much in it for them, and it was all about keeping the score down. And Andy McLean, well, down that right wing there's been one or two gaps for how to exploit all afternoon. And again, Ewan Jack, the captain, popping the ball inside. The Dumfries defence getting increasingly desperate as Howe pile in there. The ball got to come back. The forwards not going to get it themselves. Out to Wardlow, Wardlow to Aiken. Aiken, beautiful wee kick across field, and oh, how is that for a finishing touch by number 8 Chris Mason. We flip on to Michael Fado. What a try. That was an absolute cracker. And going into the final minute, looking at that scoreline, Howe doing what they did to Dumfries in their meeting at Duffus Park last year. Absolutely running riot, but all credit to Dumfries. They kept going to the very end, looking for something that they could take back down the road to Park Farm. But just when it looked as though they'd built up a solid looking position, a wee fumble there, snaffled by Ross Aiken. And well, once Howe get that sort of momentum, there's very, very little going to stop them. And who was the man in support? Yes, it was that man again, Michael Fado, the flanker. Terrific support try, and in for a hat-trick. Each one a beauty.
Great result. We knew it was going to be tough. We came up last season with these guys, had 2 very tough games against them, so we knew it was going to be tough today. But the boys were up for it, came out all guns blazing, and got a good result in the end.
So Howe go clear at the top of National League Division 1. I've got a feeling we'll see them in Premier 3 next season, and who knows, Dumfries might hold on to join them. This is Ron Evans for Scottish Rugby Television at Duffus Park, Cupar.
Coverage brought to you by Rewrite Sport, where results are guaranteed.